Just want to get a chance to lay out a strategy that's very clear to me. The 1866 or Foundation of Black American Civil Rights Act of 1866 is a critical piece of legislation that is still on the books to its current date. But the problem is that many of us foundational Black Americans are not even aware of this law is still on the books. What I'm trying to educate many of my own people on is that we have our basic own Civil Rights Act. This Civil Rights Act was to serve our purpose of economic needs in this country, okay? Because there was only three categories of people: whites, foundational Black Americans, and Native Americans. This law came about after the Civil War. It was part of an agreement as far as restitution for the slaves at that time to fight in the Civil War. The 14th Amendment, 13th Amendment, we all are aware of those constitutional amendments, but we really don't know what other parts of restitution came from it. And you know the reason why? Our system has always constantly tried to erase foundational Black Americans' history in this country. Our education system has failed us. You know it, and I know it. If we knew these basic rights that we had in the very early inception of this country, we would not be in the situation that we are in. We keep begging for reparation, but we already have reparation. We have the 13th and the 14th Amendment and that 1866 Civil Rights Act that provides us with the proper tools to reinforce the laws that were meant for us. The problem is that the only Civil Rights Act that's always talked about is the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And I'm going to be honest, as a foundational Black American, the 1964 Civil Rights Act was not for foundational Black Americans. That law specifically was for all the immigrants that they wanted to bring in this country. So we have two separate civil rights. One that dates back to 1866, specifically for foundational Black Americans, and we got one dealing with the immigrants of 1964. The push and the sacrifice for foundational Black Americans at that time, we had leaders like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., both on opposite sides of the aisle, but the one that's most prominently has the most influence in the foundational Black American community is Martin Luther King, because he led the fight for integration. Integration never really served our purpose. It served the purpose of the higher power at that time, and still it is to this day. Democrats, whoever you may be, and whatever you may look like, you took advantage of foundational Black Americans at that time. You didn't provide us with any tangibles. And for me, when I look at something like that, I naturally have to say to myself, we were hoodwinked. We were bamboozled, in the words of Malcolm X. Because you wanted to import new slaves in our replacement and cripple our upward mobility and keep us from demanding better health care, better education system, home ownership, financial freedom. You basically crippled us, because the more people you allow to come into this country, the lack of our voice will actually be heard. And I believe that's one of the main reasons why Trump took on the fight of birthright citizenship. Because we have always been directly impacted the most behind policies. I'm sorry, I just get worked up when I think about certain things. we still are struggling for our economic freedom. And we need to put everything in a proper posture. So what I'm looking at doing, and I'm hoping many other people are willing to do across this country, is that the first step I'm taking is that I've written my local library system about putting on a program on the original Civil Rights Act of 1866, and especially in predominantly foundational Black American communities where we've always been at. We need to learn the rights we have versus the rights of the immigrants. We have our own Civil Rights Act. Once we start talking about the law as it is, hopefully we can have a dialogue of what this bill should be in the future. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't. But I want y'all to take a look at what I'm going to share with you in a link about a framework of an amendment to add to the 1866 Civil Rights Act that really serves our interests. I'm going to share that link with you and share your thoughts, share your opinions, give me your insight. And please click like and share so that the algorithms can pick up what I'm having to say. Because this is just the groundwork. I'm trying to lead by example from a local level in my community about educating my own people. And I hope this really does resonate with you and you understand my point of where I'm coming from. Thank you and goodbye.